growing up a queer kid in India, where there's absolutely no representation around you, is scary. So I just wanna be that representation.
Hi everyone. Today on the channel I have Taneeshow. Taneesha, thank you so much for being here. Would you like to give a quick two-line describer about yourself, even though I'm pretty sure everybody here already knows you, but go for it.
Sure. Hey, it's Taneesha, and you're watching Shaurya's YouTube channel. I don't know what to say about myself. I think that's it. I think let's just continue.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So Taneesha, I always start off with a rapid fire. So I would like to ask you a few questions just to break the ice and for people to get to know you. First things first, what are three words that you would use to describe yourself, Taneesha?
I feel like I'm giving a college interview. I would go with crazy, friendly, and short-tempered.
The words that are going to get you into college, Taneesha, 100%. Hopefully you've made a decent amount of money from being a creator. What is the first thing that you did when you had your first income?
My first like paycheck, I donated it.
Oh, that's so nice. Who did you donate it to?
This company called wait, I'll tell you. I have the certificate, but I can't remember the company's name. But basically, it's this really cool initiative where they gave sanitary pads to women, and then when you scan, they sent you like a gift box, and when you scan that, like they show you um the women thanking you for it, and I think like that was the best thing I've ever done. So because of that, it like encouraged me to donate more.
That's so nice. Perfect. I'll after this, just send me over the name in the
Humanative.
description.
Sorry, Humanative. Humanative is the company's name.
Okay. Yeah, we'll edit it that you knew the name from the beginning only. Like I'll just break
Sorry,
it.
sorry.
Um, Tanisha, what is one thing that you're looking forward to when you get back to Boston eventually?
Um, so I really love the bubble tea that you don't get over here. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Dude, I did some research. I tried bubble tea when I was in the US, and I realized that the material is actually sabudana, the actual thing that goes inside the bubble tea. If you Google this up, it's a real thing. I personally couldn't do it. Like anybody who's watching this, Google it. Bubble tea is sabudana, by like
And
literally.
when you tell me that, I'm mind blown.
Yeah, I know. I like for some reason I didn't like it, but a lot of people love it. Divisive topic, but it's okay. Tanisha, what's one thing that you really miss about high school and that whole time?
I think being really like stupid and goofy in school,
Mhm.
like I think it's just that bit like being able to like piss off your teachers and being the backbenchers who everybody hated.
Yeah, I would like to act like I was that person, but I was the nerdy kid right up in the front. But it's okay, it works. Tanisha, like, who is one artist you do anything to just sit down and have a conversation with?
Anyone?
Yeah, any artist, like music director, any actor, anyone.
I think I'd actually like to sit down and have a conversation with Christopher Nolan. I feel
Wow.
like
No way.
I just want to know what's going on in that guy's head, and I have so many questions as to why and how he goes about things the way he does.
Mhm.
So definitely him.
Definitely one of my favorite directors as well. He's just too good. So
Mhm.
like I wanted to get a little bit into your whole experience as a creator. First of all, and like just as your motivation for jumping into the whole thing, why did you start Instagram? Why did you start YouTube channel? Like what drove you to put yourself out there in front of the world?
Okay, so I actually have always wanted to do this, like YouTube especially. I always wanted to be a YouTuber growing up. I watched like James Charles and all these like other YouTubers. James Charles is cancer. Sorry, can I start again? Scratch that really. So basically, I've always wanted to be like a YouTuber because I grew up watching a lot of them, and I used to look at them and I used to think, wow, like this is something I would definitely love to do. And then in school, I loved like being a part of the theater, and then I used to love being like participating in like anything that had got to do with entertainment. Um, and basically I was always this person, but a lot of people encouraged me to put it out there because like I used to have a lot of fun with it. And then one day I was actually quarantined at my grandmom's house when COVID had just like become a thing, and I was like, you know what, I'm not doing anything, why not just give it a shot? And then I just did, and it turned out great. So
That's crazy. And then to go from that point to suddenly having like insane virality, where you're probably one of the biggest up and coming creators in India, how did that high feel?
I mean, it like you don't stop feeling it like at every moment. For sometimes I'm just like, whoa, like when you said right now, like one of the biggest up and coming creators, I was like, wait, that's crazy. So you definitely feel it. Like I mean, it's very crazy. It's always like I don't know, it's just a very like exciting feeling constantly because it doesn't stop. Um the second you start growing, your numbers growing, and you know more and more things are happening every day. So I mean, I feel like I don't know, I feel like how do I put this into words? Like I feel like I'm going crazy, but in a good way.
Like this insane infinite dopamine rush that just keeps hitting.
Yeah. Yes, it's very crazy.
Yeah, and that's like I think that's like on the like the really glamorous side of things, which like a lot of people see, and like a lot of people are like looking at your success from a distance and going, "Oh my God, she's so lucky, she has everything." But what are some of the hardships you might face as a creator, like flack from the media? Like, what is anything that you feel like where you're like, where you took a step back and you're like, I didn't expect this going into the whole
Yeah.
world of social media.
Okay, so I feel like a lot of people tend to assume that being a creator, it can get to your head and that it looks super glamorous and this and that. But what they don't understand is every day I choose to put myself on a platform with a lot of these people. It's a fear in itself. It's scary to like come out there and say things and talk about things and just put my whole life on social media. That in itself is humbling because you tend to get a lot of hate comments. You tend to get a lot of negative energy. Your friends, some friends start to get jealous, some friends start to get insecure, so you lose a lot of friendships, you lose people. Um, then a lot of your time goes into it because it's like a 24/7 job kind of a thing, so you run out of time to spend with like the people around you, and then when you're busy a lot of people assume that you're being arrogant, but it's just so much. The thing is, a lot of negative and a lot of drama like comes with it as well, and I feel like that's like the hard part of being a creator, especially because we're also young, so having a social life and studies and all that is also important to us. So it's too much sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, I can totally imagine becoming really overwhelming. And I think the hardest thing is like a lot of people underestimate the amount of hard work that goes into creating any piece of content from like editing to ideating, scripting, storyboarding. And then when you get bigger, also like managing proper business deals with brands if they come and ask to collaborate with you. A lot of people will try to exploit you and really try to get you for like a lot undervalued. It's a big thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think you touched on a really important point about like, having an open book and like exposing all of these things about your life to the world. And I think like you're probably one of the few Indian content creators who talks about things, like sexuality, like menstruation. And with all of that, like in my opinion, what do you feel is the importance of bringing those taboo topics out, especially in India where things are so like hush hush and nobody wants to talk about it? Why do you choose to do it?
So I mean, for me, it's like it's who I am, right? Like my sexuality is who I am. Sex is a part of our daily lives. It is a big problem in this country. I mean, not sex, but overpopulation. And if we're doing it so much anyway, why not just talk about it, right? So a lot of these topics. I mean, I choose to talk about them because I wish people had spoken to me about these things growing up. Like growing up a queer kid in India where there's absolutely no representation around you is scary. So I just wanna be that representation. So even if it changes one person's life who's like watching me, I feel like that's enough. And I just want to bring about that little bit of positive change because I do have a responsibility with my platform. I do like have to talk about things, and as much as I try to run away from it, I can't. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then like on being a queer kid in India, which is so true, like you barely see any representation, and only recently like even Hollywood's begun to take acceptance of it and make movies with inclusion as well. For anybody out there who's curious about their sexuality or just wants to learn more about the world, how does one go from questioning it to having a little more clarity and then like almost a sense of acceptance in the end?
Yeah. So I mean, so to me, I mean, okay, so everybody's experience when it comes to discovering themselves or their own sexuality is very, very different. There's no like right age, there's no right sexuality. It's a full spectrum. There's no like, if you don't want to put a term on it, you don't have to. Like there's just so much to it that like it's very, very different for everyone. There may come that like you may feel like you can never really know what, like who you are or what you are. But I mean, for me personally, I mean, I think I just knew when I was like about 11 or 12. I feel like I just knew then because I started liking my best friend, and I feel like a lot of like queer kids, it starts with, you know, feeling affection towards the people around you, or maybe, you know, for some girls, like for me, it was, or it could also be Kristen Stewart. I mean, it's very different for everyone,
Yeah.
but I feel like so that's the thing, right? I feel like representation, seeing more queer people and having hearing their stories about it is when you can easily find it in yourself if it's there. And if it isn't, learning about it is good enough as well, which is why I want to be that representation. Because if someone is feeling this way, they shouldn't think it's not normal, or they shouldn't think there's something wrong with them, because there are people like us. And in itself, when you look at more people around you, when you talk to people online, like there are a lot of places you can, like online, there are a lot of communities you can go on to and talk about this, is when you start finding that like acceptance maybe. But I, again, it's very different for everyone, so I can't speak for everyone.
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, was university more inclusive than what you'd been used to in high school? Like, how does that change, especially studying in the US, like shift your perspective on, the whole community and everything around it?
Absolutely. I mean, in India, it's not spoken about at all. So in high school, it was never something we brought up, never something we spoke about. Whereas in university abroad, there were like clubs for it. There were people around you. There were professors being inclusive, and they were being very sensitive to the LGBTQ. So I feel like the good. So abroad, I felt like I could be myself more openly, and I could just like talk to people around me. And you know, the fact that they have a club for like a queer collective for all of us was really great, because you could meet people who like felt like you, and that in itself is a big thing.
Yeah, and I think also like apart from education, I think a lot of people also struggle on the family front and the parents front, and how they might see you, and it's almost like this, like some people are worried their parents will see them differently, if they come out to them. So how was your story navigating through all of that?
So I mean, for me, touch wood, my parents were like pretty accepting of it. They've been really great with it. So I can't speak for that struggle because I haven't experienced it.
Right.
But I know that it's very hard for like a lot of people around me who can't do anything about it. But I feel like you'll know when the time is right. You'll know when you feel ready. There's never like there's no like right time, because the fear is going to be there in any case. So it depends on how well you know your parents and how well you think they'd react to it. So based on that is when you can decide if you want to come out or not, and when you want to come out.
Yeah, I think like hopefully I see you becoming a big representative for this whole movement. But like you go, dude. Like keep getting it on that front. And then just on like I was watching a few of your videos, and I noticed that you wanted to break into Bollywood, and that was one of your dreams. Where did that come from? And like with this whole social media movement you have going, where is that going now?
So in terms of like Bollywood, I mean, growing up, I just saw the glamour of it all, and I was like, oh wow, I want to be like, you know, Deepika, and I want to be like Alia, and I find them so cool and so pretty, and I loved everything that was happening there. But now, the more I get into content, I feel like I don't care as much about being in front of the camera. I would also actually love to be a director, or I would absolutely love to write scripts myself, because I've always been like, I love writing.
That's
And I feel like, yeah, I feel like anything to do with the entertainment industry, even if I end up being like a social media creator forever, I'm okay with that. Basically, I would say that of course I would love to be a part of Bollywood, but I'm also just happy doing anything that entertains the people around me, because I think that's like my biggest personality trait, that I love entertaining everyone around me.
right.
So
And
yeah.
then did having this like huge following, now that you have it, whenever you hear the debate about Bollywood is nepotism and Bollywood's not friendly to outsiders, How do you think that being a digital creator today could help someone break into Bollywood or basically just challenge the entire industry that's been there for decades?
Yeah. So the thing is, it's not like, okay, so the thing about being a creator is a lot of people already like you and they already support you. And when you show maybe like a promising act on your social media, people recognize that talent, right? So shows like OTT platforms like Netflix and stuff have started to approach creators bigger than me, like Prajakta and Rohit Saraf, and they used to be creators, right? And Netflix approached them because they saw promising talent, and I feel like that in itself is huge in terms of Bollywood because of course outsiders are not as like I mean I don't know how to say this without sounding controversial. Outsiders are not as accepted, but having like a strong following most definitely helps. I mean it'll definitely help with the industry because a lot of opportunities are starting to come up, especially now.
Yeah, like I remember seeing Mismatched trailer and I was just like, wait, I've seen this individual before. Where have I seen them? And I think like
Yeah,
as a viewer, it goes to show the power because like if you recognize someone and they're familiar, you're more likely to like them and then like the show, which is why it
ex-
makes sense why these big platforms are now approaching people like you.
exactly.
Wow,
Yeah.
and hopefully you too someday. Like imagine, like if you had your own Netflix series, how would that be, Tanisha?
If I had my own Netflix series.
What would it be about? Forget that. Let's say you were the scriptwriter.
Okay, so but am I writing the script for myself or for just like in general, like I'm doing a Netflix show,
Would
what's it
you
gonna
like
be
to
about?
star in it? It complete your creative vision.
I mean, I think it would probably just be about a queer kid growing up in India. I feel like that's very important.
Right.
So I would do like a cute queer teenage rom-com sort of a thing because I feel like that's so important right now.
Yeah. Like basically like an Indian love sign. I really
Yeah,
like that sign.
yeah, absolutely.
That dude, that be imagine if you had directed by Taneesha that I'm saying it could happen. It's a reality. It's a possible reality.
Manifest it, it'll happen one day.
100%. One of my biggest beliefs is manifest anything. And Tanisha, if I have to talk about, your like the creators around you, one question I always ask people is like, if you could like invest in creator as a stock, like you could like purchase stock of that person and like really say that this person's gonna blow up, apart from yourself, someone your age bracket, maybe even older than you, anyone around you, who would you invest in and why?
I would invest in Dave. Definitely. I think he's very unique as a person and I think people like that. And I think he's just got a very lovable presence in social media and in person because he's a very close friend of mine. I know how much he likes what he's doing. I see him working hard and he's got so much charisma. Like it's impossible that he's not going to grow to be one of the biggest. So definitely him. I'll get solid pesta if I invest in that.
Just blow up, make $1 billion off of Dave.
Literally.
And I think
Yeah.
Dave is, oh yeah, that actually reminds me, what are you studying in BU? Like, is there like any synergy between what you're doing right now and what you plan on studying academically?
There is actually. So I started out with an undecided major in BU in
Right.
College of Arts and Sciences, but I'm now shifting to College of Communication to take up a film and television major.
No
So
way. That's so cool. So you're like, you could literally be like learning script writing tomorrow when you go back.
I will be. I will be. When I go back, I will be.
That's
Fingers crossed.
another thing I wanted to know about creators is, nowadays you were featured on Tinder India's page. It's like I will say it like 5 times if I have to. That's huge. Um, how does it like? Do you feel like brands are recognizing creators more and giving them more importance? And how do you feel like someone can go all the way from making videos in their bedroom to being at such a position today?
I feel like so yeah, it's crazy. Like from like what I do normally and then suddenly being on Tinder India's page is like whoa. But I feel like when you never like so the thing is I try to be as real as possible in my videos, like how I hang out with my friends. Like I want anyone who's watching me to feel like I'm just their friend and we're just like having a conversation. So I try to stay as real as possible. And I think the importance of that is like being super like authentic. Like don't try to change like yourself and stuff in front of the camera. Like just be you. Like people will anyway say what they have to say. So I think that is important in order to grow as a creator because brands like the thing is, okay, so a lot of creators around me that I know is not the same as a TV ad or like a celebrity, an actual celebrity from Bollywood or something like that. Is a lot of creators around me also try to stay as authentic as they can on camera,
Right,
and which is why when we endorse in a product, we actually like it.
right.
And being a creator is like being friends with your audience, so there's more, I feel like there's more of like a community and more trust when it's like that. So the more authentic you are, the more your audience has faith in you, and the more your audience will also trust a product that you endorse, which is why brands are now starting to really appreciate creators because of how authentic we try to keep it. So I feel like you just have to be super authentic if you want to grow and be recognized by bigger brands as well.
That's so true. And then I think the natural worry I have when I hear that is like, with an actor, if someone hates the movie, you can be like, oh yeah, they hated how I acted in that particular movie. But with the creator, if someone dislikes a video, they're attacking you, they're attacking your personality, which is really scary. It's like someone taking a shit on your personality and be like, I don't like you as a
It is.
person. But how does
It
that
is.
feel?
I mean, it okay, in the start it used to really feel bad. Like I used to feel really bad about it. But something I really love about myself, which is probably one of my favorite qualities about myself, is it's very difficult to make me unhappy, touch wood. Like,
That,
of course, the comments bother me, but I'll feel bad about it for 20 minutes and then I'll focus on the good comments. And touch wood, there are a lot of good comments. So those good comments keep me going. So the few bad ones, like, I don't care anymore.
they can do whatever they want. Exactly.
Like you, and the thing is, I also remember that if the person is taking the time to write a bad comment
Yeah.
and helping my algorithm, they're only helping me be more successful. And honestly, like I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
thank you so much for this. This is great. I think we touched on like tons of like really relevant topics that I feel like, I think you said something really compelling, which like you also do have a responsibility as a creator and you're really aware of that. I think you're one of the few creators who like owns up to it and says like, no, I want to be that representation. Instead of looking left and right for that representation. Um, so, as a last bit, like, is there anything you'd like to say someone who's watching this video, any like last piece you'd like to give out to the internet that you could look back on in like 10 years, be like, profound statement, right? That's Taneesha.
now you put a lot of pressure on me. I really don't know what to say.
I mean,
Um,
you can say the most whack thing in the world. I remember asking Dave, what's one thing you'd like to do? He said, stop eating too much khakra. Literally, what he said.
like that's really good advice. But actually, you know what? No, eat as much khakra as you want. Honestly, like screw everyone else. Eat your damn khakra if you like it.
Do whatever you want, basically.
Basically, just do whatever you want, be whoever you want, say whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, you're good.
Perfect. Thank you so much for this, Taneesha. This was great. I feel like I passed my two thumbs up down to you. You're giving me two thumbs up back. It's just two thumbs up back and forth now. But this
It
was
was
great.
great. Thank you.